Woo! Richard, how's it going?
It's going great, man. It's going great.
Big fan of yours and your career, Supernatural and Kings of Con.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's awesome.
So, this is very different, right? Driven than what you usually do as far as tone and style goes.
Certainly from the two shows you mentioned, Kings of Con and Supernatural, this is a bit of a departure. But in tone, I mean, there are a lot of elements in the script itself and the movie itself that kind of lean towards the supernatural in their own interesting way. And there's some comedic elements as well. You know, Glenn and Casey did a really great job of creating a unique story. They have the idea of it being in one of the like Uber Lyft type car services. That these people go on this adventure, but they do this mix of, you know, it's like, it's not a comedy of errors, it's a comedy of horrors. You know, there's a lot that's going on within the framework of the story that drives it, and the comedy between the two main characters, it sort of keeps it interesting and spicy. It's really well done.
On that note, can you share with us and the fans, my fans at home, a story, the most interesting story of your experience riding an Uber or rideshare?
Oh, for the most part, I think ride shares are a wonderful thing. And so if you're involved in ride shares, kudos. I use your services often. I've only had one experience that I thought was sketchy. And that was, it wasn't even that sketchy. It was just, I got a very angry driver. He was and so at that point, I became the nicest man alive because I thought, this may be my final moment. And the last thing I'm going to do is kick the beehive here. And he was really PO'd. I don't know if he'd had a bad night or if he was just, you know, had a chip in his shoulder from birth. I don't know. But I didn't necessarily want to be the guy to pick the scab and see how much it would bleed. So I just was very placating and nice and got out and gave him a great review because I didn't want him. He knew where I lived. That's the weird thing about the rideshare service. Yeah. You don't like a waiter and you don't tip well, they can't follow you home. Rideshare knows where you live. Yep. So, you know, you got to mind your P's and Q's.
You played it right. You played it right.
Yeah, I played it safe.
Now, you've done projects with bigger budgets than this. So I want to talk about the joys and the challenges of making an indie film like Driven.
Well, the thing that makes this movie and movies like it great is the passion of the people behind it. I met Glenn and Casey years ago at a film festival in Oxford, Mississippi, near their hometown in Tupelo, Mississippi. And I had a film there at the time I was screening, and they had a film there. We were just chatting as fellow filmmakers. And so years later, when they sent me their script, I already knew I liked them as people. I already knew they were focused and talented artists. And the script was fantastic. It was super clever, super funny, super interesting, and super doable with the time and money they were talking about doing it with. And so I hopped on board because it's you know, you can do small parts in big things, or every now and then you can do big parts in small things, and it's fun to do both. And this was a big part in a small thing. It was a great character that had a great journey. I enjoyed Casey's acting in previous projects, so I knew it'd be fun to work with her. And you know, the challenges are, you don't have all the money in the world, you don't have all the time in the world, so you got to get creative. But that's actually when the great stuff happens, because it forces you to use those synapses that got you into the business to start with. You know, you get into filmmaking because you want to be a storyteller, you want to be creative, you want to, you know, be a part of the journey of finding ways to craft stories in unique and interesting ways when you don't have all the tools in your toolbox to do it. And so it was kind of an all boots on the ground approach. Obviously they did the heavy lifting, but it was long hours. It was freaking freezing. I'll tell you, kids who don't know much about the weather, Mississippi gets cold, real cold. And we were in a cold snap during the cold season, so we froze. But it was awesome because everybody's spirits were high the whole time because everybody was super fired up about being involved and doing it and making the best project they could do. And I got swept up in that energy as well, and it was a real treat.
Yeah, Casey told me you didn't even have a trailer. You're a good sport about it.
Yeah, I'm a low maintenance guy. I don't have a trailer at home either. I have to change in the house like everybody else. So you know, it's whatever. I mean, the trailer's a perk of expensive shows, but when you don't have an expensive show, I've made my own stuff. Kings of Con, we had no trailers in Kings of Con. You know, we had one dressing room for everybody. So I know what it's like, and I think I benefit from that too. I know what it's like to make your own projects. I know what it's like to spend your own time, your energy on something that matters to you. So I respect when other people are doing that for themselves. And I've done it, and I like to have people on that ride with me who love and care about the project almost as much as I do. So I try to deliver that in kind to people who are doing their own project.
Last question before I let you go. I gotta ask you this, otherwise my fans will be mad at me. Supernatural final season. Are you gonna be directing some of the episodes? What can we anticipate?
Well, Supernatural season 15. For starters, that's a hell of a run.
That
15 years. That's no joke. I am directing 3 episodes in the final season, so I'll be all dotted throughout the season as the director. As far as story goes, that's above my pay grade. Nobody will tell me anything. And by the way, even if they did tell me, you don't really want to know. You don't want spoilers. Nobody. People say they want spoilers. They don't want spoilers. Fortunately, I'm ignorant, so I can't spoil anything except for a good time. But yeah, so I'm as eager as the fans are, because I'm a fan too of the show, to find out what Andrew Dabb and Bob Singer and the writers have in store for us.
Are you sad though? That's gonna.
I'm devastated. I'm devastated because I feel blessed beyond measure to have been a part of a show as cool as Supernatural, helmed by as awesome people as it has. Jared and Jensen are phenomenal actors and people. Misha Collins, they've become great friends over the decade plus that I've been associated with the show. I have played a great character that's had many levels and many journeys. I've directed and cut my teeth as a director on that show. I will miss it like I would miss a family member who moved away. It's going to be a tremendous loss, but that is the gift of that show, that we all have an emotional reaction to its parting. Says a lot about how connected we were to it while it was here. And thanks to Netflix and syndication, it'll always be with us.
Yes, I'll binge watch it all day.
It will always be the same age, so that's nice.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.